I just shared the recap for 64, which was the in-person one. All right. Kick back, relax. I'll get through this in a minute. 64 was the old bone grinder. And then the subtitle is and onto Weekend at Blackwinds. All right. So the cackling from the old windmill echoed into the misty morning as the party emerged from the dreary woods and approached from the rear. They noticed a strange arrangement of tall, ancient stones behind the windmill, and also noted that all of the vegetation, except for that which grew within the stones, was dead. Sparkle cast Detect Magic, finding that these relics gave off an abjuration aura. However, casting Dispel Magic on them didn't seem to change anything with the stones. Anticipating a confrontation, Sparkle readied a fireball and Deckard loaded his crossbow. Alaric positioned himself on one side of the building and used his magical awareness, but sensed nothing out of the ordinary. However, as they slowly crept towards the windmill, Stinkbag started freaking out and communicated back to Sparkle that he was just having a bad vibe. He noticed there were no other living creatures in the vicinity, and some evil presence emanated from the windmill. Thoradin stepped forward, though, and his aura of courage, which was radiating from him, calmed down Sparkle's familiar immediately. Ragnar, who hadn't been with the party when they last came to this place, walked right up to the front door to confront the ladies and see if they could get a read on the situation. Knock, knock. Scuffling from within came from one hag calling to another named Ophelia as a homely woman emerged. Ragnar immediately started bartering for some pies, offering large amounts of gold, which piqued their interest. She invited him into the first floor kitchen where they had just finished baking a fresh batch. Ragnar lied about needing to supply a huge party at the winery, and the hags excitedly calculated a hefty total, more gold than he had on him. So he said he would be back with the gold soon and return to the party. Sparkle whispered, "Hey, did you get any samples at least?" Meanwhile, Alaric scaled the outside of the structure. Deckard gave him a boost, and he vaulted up to the second floor scaffolding and peered inside a window. He saw another ugly older woman sweeping up small bones and kicking dust around a large millstone. On a table was a crate of some smaller critters fluttering around. He jumped back down to the ground and told everyone what he saw. Juniper's ears perked up as she heard the squeaking sound of wagon wheels approaching from the main road. She glanced at Deckard, who was now completely fed up with the situation. He knew these hags were taking kids. Alaric explained the bone dust, and now there was someone else approaching. It was clear to him what was going on here, and his patience was tapped. With a low growl, Deckard morphed into his werewolf form. As he extended his sharp claws, they burst into magical flames. Sparkle was intrigued. This seemed to inspire the group as Alaric burst into a rage. Concerned with what could be approaching, Juniper called upon her powers of nature to send gusts of wind down the path to clear the mist away. This revealed the dream pastry cart that the old woman was pushing around at the Festival of the Blazing Sun, but no woman was in sight. Seeing this, Deckard dashed past Juniper and sniffed the air. Sensing something in the cart, he circled around to the back and found a canvas sack wiggling around. In the sack was a young boy, who Deckard freed. However, the sight of a giant werewolf with flaming hands only terrified him further. Thoradin and his aura of courage approached, calming the boy, Ludo, enough that he could explain his plight. His family home in Vallaki was burned down, and his parents traded him to the old woman for a few dream pastries. He was being brought here to, quote-unquote, help make pastries, in what capacity neither the boy nor his parents fully understood. Hearing this was the final straw for Deckard. The werewolf charged full speed at the front of the windmill and crashed into the door, but only managed to daze himself for a moment. A lengthy battle between the party and this deadly coven of night hags ensued. By the way, that was the last bad roll Deckard had. He rolled like 6 crits that night he was at our house. I don't know if you guys remember that. When I did the recap, I'm like, the fuck is this guy doing?
I remember that.
A lengthy battle between the party and this deadly coven of night hags ensued. Invisible curses and unspoken hexes started to afflict the group. Deckard felt this weakness first. He slowly pushed into the windmill, but none of the old hags were present now. He looked back at the party in confusion. A few moments later, all 3 of the hags suddenly appeared outside of the windmill in a perfect line a fair distance from the party. The oldest of the hags, Morgantha, the head of this coven, simply commanded, "Now," as the other 2 women began casting spells. However, the first of these was easily countered by Spargle. So, as the battle raged on, Deckard's flaming claws slashed at the hags, doing significant damage. His multiple critical blows against Morgantha dug deep as fire flashed from the strikes. Alaric lashed out with Vladimir's greatsword, which tore through the hags as well. Thoradin's searing smite glowed through Talon as he implored his gods to help eradicate this evil. Juniper gave the hags a taste of their own medicine, blasting them with lightning bolts that tore through two of them multiple times. Spargle animated a handful of stones, which she sent towards the oldest crone, but with a flick of her wrist, she dispelled the rocks and they dropped harmlessly to the ground. Throughout the fight, some of the hags instantly disappeared, only to reappear moments later. One of the hag's eyes turned black as she spat curses at the party, and Spargle crumpled to the ground, fast asleep. Ragnar throttled the hags with sound blows from Shatterspike. Alaric struck the hag so hard at one point that he knocked the black out of her eyes. He noted a slight hint of fear now that the party was starting to get the upper hand. The other hag, Bella, summoned another bolt of lightning across the battlefield, singeing her friends and foes alike. However, the party avoided a lot of the damage thanks to Thoradin's protective magic. After Juniper blasted them with more lightning, Ophelia, the oily-eyed hag, determined this battle was lost. She cackled, "Good luck! Consider this coven broken," as she just disappeared. At that, Bella looked around and disappeared as well. Morgantha, defiant, scowled and faced the party, now alone, abandoned by her coven. Deckard charged at her, claws, flames, and black werewolf hide flashing everywhere as the night hag dropped to a knee. She scowled and propped herself up, and her old woman guise started to shimmer and flicker. Alaric brushed off the singe of the lightning blast, drew back his sword, and simultaneously teleported towards the hag while brutally slashing at her. Now unable to focus properly and maintain her presence in the material world, Morgantha fizzled a spell against Deckard and Alaric. She suddenly seemed fearful for her life. White-hot radiant light flowed through Thoradin into Talon as he drove the magic sword deep into Morgantha's heart. The light erupted from her chest as the old lady's face melted into an ancient night hag. The light grew into a blinding ball of energy and then exploded from within her. Deep in the woods, the sound of the other two hags screamed in anguish. The leader of the coven and mastermind behind the Dream Pastry enterprise in Barovia had been slain. The other two members of the coven had fled. Now that it was clear, Ludo peeked his head out, and Juniper woke up Spargle. The area was secured, and they explored the old bone grinder. They were looking for the remains of Blackwind. If they could find some part of him, perhaps that crazy abbot could resurrect their fallen companion. From the floors above, they could hear children telling each other to finish your chicken or they'll punish us again. On the second floor, they discovered that the hags had been grinding the bones of Barovian children to make a fine white powder, possibly the key ingredient of Dream Pastries. On the third floor, they found a few more children, quite chubby, being fed tiny black chickens, very small, hardly cooked poultry of some sort. On another table was the crate, which Alaric spotted through the window earlier. Deckard freed the two kids, who were thankful to be out of the cages. With his outstanding charisma, Deckard informed the kids that their city home and probably their parents were burnt to the ground. They also discovered a massive pile of old, tattered children's clothes. Spargle inspected the crate and found a pile of dead ravens, recently butchered, blood pouring off the table. Deckard meditated on this place, using his grim psychometry upon the old bone grinder. Eyes going white as they rolled back into his head, he had a vision of the operation of this windmill. Countless children shuffled in, skinny, tearful, fattened up, just to be turned into dream pastries. Those same pastries were then fed back to the same parents who traded their children in exchange for more. Rampant addiction to the pastries created an endless, vicious cycle of demand for the fateful treats. But perhaps the most disturbing revelation was that the old hags never did this for the money. They enjoyed tearing families apart and the sorrow, terror, and anguish they sowed in the process. Deckard slumped to the ground, physically and emotionally tapped. Juniper was suddenly lost in the pile of children's clothes, trying on some of the nicer stuff, but Ragnar dragged her back to the second floor to commune with some ravens he discovered in a cage who were still alive. Juniper learned that none of them were were-ravens and that there weren't any nearby. Ragnar suggested that she send these ravens off to the winery to inform the Martikovs of what transpired at the old bone grinder, which they did. Alaric discovered a mass grave on the backside of the windmill with various adult human bodies in varying states of decay. After a bit of digging around, Alaric found a body dressed the same as Blackwind was when he died here weeks ago, missing a head. So Alaric scooped up the corpse and wrapped it in the best he could in the old burlap sack and loaded it into Morgantha's dream pastry cart. After thoroughly exploring the old bone grinder and the grounds, the party turned their attention back to the old white wedding dress. It had been shredded and vandalized, but was otherwise a proper wedding gown. Spargle asked Deckard to see the dress, and after spending several minutes casting mending cantrips on it, repaired it completely. They could now take the repaired dress back to the abbot at the Abbey of St. Markovia. As they walked away, Spargle, Juniper, and the others set the old bone grinder on fire. Deckard found a secure campsite nearby, and they all watched as the windmill burned to the ground over the course of the evening. A surly smile and some sense of accomplishment waved across our heroes as they drifted into a well-deserved slumber. That was the live session. You guys did a good thing there.
So did we do a long rest or not?
You got a long rest in. You got a long rest in, but it was kind of it was weird. It was like middle of the day. So it's now like you get a long rest, but now it's like midnight or 1 a.m. ish.
Weird. Okay.
Dan, can you refresh my memory on the timeline? So we had how long to get the dress back in time?
I think you're still really good on time. Let me see. I have a very specific timeline here. I can tell you.
Didn't we also talk about how effective a resurrection spell would be on how long the body was dead? Isn't there like a statute of limitations on how long it takes to resurrect somebody or something?
So Thornton might know a bit about that because that's his practice. But
can I look at the body?
The abbot didn't necessarily say. So hold on. Let me see 1 second. So you met the abbot on the 21st day of the 9th moon, which is what we're in. So like September 21st, basically. And this is the 24th day. It's actually only been like 3 or 4 days since you were in the abbey and talking to the abbot.
Oh, I think
he gave you a week. Yeah, gave you a week. Okay. Yeah.
Outstanding pictures again. Those pies look delicious. That guy with the corpse as you're packing it up there, that's so great.
Oh, I love that picture. I'm like, yeah, that's cool? Probably about what Blackwind looked like. I just Google shit. I'm like, corpse without head. And I'm like, that's a good one.
looks like
You're probably on a watch list, buddy.
Yeah, right. Like I'm definitely getting flagged by the FBI at this point.
He looks like the owner of a Greek restaurant. Just like, what am I going to do with this?
I can't make
it's fresh.
It's fresh.
That's Mr. Papoulis.
Yep.
So it is you guys have gotten some sense of the calendar since you've been here for weeks now. It is the 24th day of the 9th moon. Coincidentally, on the 28th day of the full moon, it will be a full moon.
And we did a long rest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody could take a long rest. And again, because of the way it kind of timed out, Spargle cast his, I forget what that's called, your new spell with the dome.
Oh, yeah, the hut.
The hut. Yeah. So you guys had that going on with you. The one thing I didn't ask, though, is what were you doing with the children? There was Ludo, who was the boy that the Morgantha was bringing up and Deckard freed from the cart. And then there were the boy and the girl that you've freed from the crate upstairs.
Isn't there like a fat kid?
Yeah, they were both a little on the chubby side. They've been eating a lot of little black chickens.
Jeez.
Thorin would do his best to keep them, like, in good spirits. Maybe telling them jokes from, his dwarven brethren.
Your aura of courage was actually pretty relevant recently, because that actually does create like almost like this like radius of just calmness and specifically like, so Stinkbag, who was freaking out, and these kids, it actually really calms them down. Stops them from
What
being
did I get that from? That was from. Is that
I think it's
from?
one of your auras that you can just kind of turn on, right? You can have like one aura on at a time or something. Is that right?
I thought
Probably.
I thought they're just passive. I thought his auras
Yeah.
are just like
You're right. They're just passive. Yeah.
they're just on.
They're just always on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like
aura.
the one
protection,
for
aura-
like saves and stuff like that. Don't we get a bonus to saves around you and stuff too?
Yeah, no shit. That's actually really clutch. I mean, you guys should be
Yeah.
like hanging really tight to Thoradin in certain
Yeah.
situations because
Yeah.
yeah, plus
Have
two
you
to
ever
all
smelled
saving
Thoradin?
There's also a
Yeah,
stink
minus
aura.
when he's shitting on something.
It may not be worth the
Cocky
juice
aura.
may not be worth the squeeze.
Or
The, I ate somebody's teeth aura.
Yeah, I got this fucking thing. Don't fuck with me.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's sweet. You got it.
yeah, but
Cool.
if anyone's within 10 feet of Thoradin at any point, they get a +2 to all saving throws from his aura protection. And that's what saved a lot of you from the lightning blasts. Cut the damage in half. That kind of helped. But this aura of courage is any friendly creature within 10 feet cannot be frightened. I mean, there's no roll or anything. It's just like you can't be frightened. So that also means you cannot be frightened.
No,
Nah.
Thoradin's not afraid. I mean, you're the DM also, so you could really just say whatever happens. So, I mean, it's your barbecue.
Pretty cool though. Let me see where we got, what kind of map I got here. What do you guys think you're doing here? I don't know if I need to take us to the old bone grinder. I will. For now.
Well, should we make our way back to the? I don't know how you said it's only been 3 or 4 days, but
We probably have
Might-
3 days to get to.
Yeah, here we go.
yeah,
So we checked off the wedding dress, right? That quest is done. The Raven Bones, Blackwind Bones, LOL. We did that. That's done. So I think we should just head back.
Yeah, we don't have time to go mess with the big
It's
bird
just-
or anything.
we just need to head toward the question marks.
Now we just gotta turn in.
yeah. Follow that golden trail too.
Yeah, I was gonna say this little glowing line just like, forms in front of you, and
Let's we'll go back to Kresk, right? Because that's where we are gonna bring the wedding dress, right?
How far are we from Kresk?
Probably
yeah.
was-
So that's a
we
good
head up
question.
on the old Svalich Road. It should be about a day and a half. 12 hours.
There's a pretty good travel time calculator. Let me see.
Because we'll head north up the old Svalich Road, and we'll head west on that.
Yeah, I mean this is like closer than you would think. So from the windmill to Valaki, if you were to take the road, okay, so you the gray here is where you're at the windmill, or kind of right behind the windmill. You could follow the road back around Valaki, which is now like burnt down and shit. Or you could try to cut through the woods. Either way, it's probably going to be a couple hours to Valaki, a couple hours over here to this crossroads. You're probably looking at 6 to 8 hours worth of travel. So traveling through the night until dawn, let's say, would get you to Kresk, if that's what you want to do.
I'd say we try to steer clear of Locky.
Yeah, I
might-
say we try to take a shortcut and go through the woods. That'd be exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, can
Somebody
we
might
use
look for
spiders?
Yeah, I like it.
You want to use
Yeah,
spider?
I don't think that's going to be. We may not be the most popular folks in town if we go near Valaki.
Yeah, I would rather go to Kresk and then the winery. Drop these kids off, let them intern over there.
Yeah.
Stomping some grapes, get rid of them.
Yeah, leave
Now,
it
you
to
want
the-
to
Yeah, that's it. That's a good idea,
want-
actually.
crest first or winery first?
Um,
I think
let's
we gotta go
go.
to Crest first.
Well, yeah, I mean it's on the way, right?
We can't afford any delay.
Yeah,
Or is
so
it's
it's
only
kind of
like
6 to 1.
Yeah.
Because once you get to this crossroads here, it's going to be maybe a little closer to get to Crest, but you're talking maybe an extra hour ish or two.
Oh, so then we can drop the kids off.
I think we should. Let's get those kids out of here because I mean you never know if we go back and we get this resurrection, some more of those spider things jump out or whatever, and
Yeah, we might
I
get
don't know.
attacked by werewolves. You're right.
yeah, I'd rather just
Let's take
I
these
don't know if
kids
you guys are cool with it.
to the Mardikovs.
I forgot about the werewolves too. That could be a lot more. We only fought dire wolves the last time. We don't know what else is going to
There
come.
was a few werewolves.
Were there?
Yeah, because somebody got scratched or something, and they had to use. one
Yeah,
of the-
it's when we were in the tower. The
That was
werewolves
with
came
the
in. We were
robot.
all in the lift.
I meant the last time though. When we came back, we just ran into those dire wolves. Remember?
Oh, you're talking about that. That's right. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
just wolves.
That huge pack of them that chased you to Valaki, those were all dire wolves, huge, giant dire
Yeah.
wolves. But yeah, at the Van Richten's tower, you ran into that was when Kirill and a bunch of werewolves like chased them there. I don't remember how you guys got out of that. I don't think you fought them off, right?
And that's another one. Van Richten. I sure would like to find him again too. I don't know where that dude went off to. Remember we went and I think didn't we find the cart, Dan, but he wasn't there or something. Or
That's
the cart
right.
was gone.
That's right.
The cart was gone. Somebody was able to tell that the wagon wheels. He was heading west.
Okay. So maybe
It looked
we'll
like a
run into
wagon
him
heading
going west. Does
Go to the
Deckard
winery.
still have his little tracker on the dead broad? Was that who he was tracking? Not Ophelia, but I get him home. Not Bella. Which Morgana?
Yeah.
Was that the one who he had his little like whatever sniffer tag on?
Oh,
Did
his-
he, or did he maybe switch it to Kirill at the tower? I think he.
He might have
one of
moved
them
it.
that I think when they were running away, he switched it. I think.
He's got it on Kirill.
Kirill? Okay, cool. That's pretty big too then. You know what I mean? Because then maybe he'll know if Kirill's making his way our way.
Yeah, and Deckard's with you, so I can answer questions for Deckard. You know, it's not like just because Will's not here that
Yeah.
you know. In fact, if you want all his shit right now, just ask. I'm gonna give it to you. Deckard's in a really generous mood all of a sudden.
Jade
What's all
Frog.
my gold? Yeah.
Jade Frog. All right, yeah, let's do it. Let's go. Let's make our way over to the
Go to the winery.
Mardikovs and
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So you have a good little chunk of forest to get through. It's pretty late. It's misty, and it's what you're used to in Barovia, right? It's pitch black. Everybody good on vision and whatnot.
I
You
have
guys
dark
have
vision.
some form of light. I think Deckard's always the one that kind of seems to be fumbling around in darkness a little.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice.
I'll do grab a torch and do my little snap thing, light it, and hand it to Deckard.
Perfect. So Deckard takes the torch. Thank you very much, little man.
And I tell him thank you for the massive amount of gold that he just gave me. That's cool.
Yeah, it was cool that Deckard gave all his shit away for no reason.
I'm in
Hey,
a
thanks
given
for
mood.
Snickers.
No, Snickers is mine. I
He's
can't
gonna be
have it.
delicious.
He's become a minimalist.
So, how much armor does the cowboy hat give me permanently?
Hey, you didn't miss
Hey,
much,
Will.
Will.
Yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead. Punch.
We were just going to drop the kids off that we rescued, that we're going to take them to the Martikovs and then just shoot right up to Kresk, which is only like a couple hours away. Are you? Do you see his camera like it was? Are you on a lift desk or something? It was like.
Yeah, I got a stand-up desk and I just lowered it. This light behind me is
Ah.
not conducive to my camera. All right, sorry guys, and gals. Sorry that
No,
I-
good timing. So we went through the recap. You guys woke up at the behind the old bone grinder. It's like midnight or a little past midnight. The party decided to head to the winery to dump off the kids and then head to Crest. So we are making our way through this little chunk of woods behind the windmill, which is kind of the way you came. Although you guys came like south and kind of cut down from Valaki. Now you're going like due west through those woods right above where it says Raven Bones. Yeah, so it's late at night. It's misty. It's pitch black. I mean, it's super dark because of the mist, the lack of light. That's what makes darkness, I heard. And that you're also, thick in the forest here. So, also as a note, if anyone's paying attention to the lunar phase here in Barovia, it's about day 24 of a 28-day moon cycle, meaning that it's likely to be a full moon in a few days. For what that's worth to anybody that cares about full moons. And so you guys kind of keep trudging through these woods. Sparkle had just lit a torch for you, Deckard, because everybody else is pretty good seeing their way through. Who's like, what's the party order here? Who's leading? Or we got this cart with Blackwind's bones. Are we trying to like push that through the woods? Are we leaving the cart? What are we doing with Blackwind's bones?
I think we'll take them with us with the cart, right? I'm gonna be with the kids. I'm gonna hang with the kids.
And they have
We're
started
bringing that-
most.
We're bringing that cart.
We got to drag his corpse. I don't want to carry it.
It was the pie cart, right? So
Yeah.
like the kids can go in it and whatever else we need to put
Okay.
in it, right? Was the
Yeah,
idea?
the dead body, yeah.
Yeah. Throw the kids in there with the dead body. They're all fucked up anyways.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
what
these
makes it
kids
worse.
have been exposed to a lot of
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, you thought
much
those
is-
pies were bad, huh? You check out my
Yeah.
dead friend.
It's got no head.
Didn't even have a head.
They didn't even have a head. I'll go. Alark will go wherever is needed. Help with the cart, or lead the pack, or round up the back. Whatever we need.
The kids have really taken to Thoradin, both because of his aura of courage. So as long as they're within 10 feet of them, they just feel fearless. But it's been nice to them, and they almost start like perking up a little bit, and like being a little bit, sort of playful and just messing around with Thoradin as you guys are walking. They don't seem to be worried at all that you guys are just trudging through the woods in the middle of the night, which is good. They can walk on their own if you want them to, or they can, if you want to do something with this cart. Now, this cart's not great. It's like a wooden cart with big wooden wheels. It's really designed for that old lady to like peddle her pies through town. It's not really meant to transport much more than that. But right now you have Blackwind's headless body and wrapped up in a burlap sack, draped over this cart as it's bumping around through the woods.
So the kids, it was 2 boys and a girl.
Yep.
So I would say to them like, oh, you want to stretch your legs a little bit? How do you feel about that? Let's go for a little walk. See if they want to walk for a bit.
Yeah. So
Does
the
it
one who
cost-
you've learned. Sorry.
Does it cost you a spell slot to bring your steed back? To bring a whole?
Is
I know he got chowed, but he'll come back, right?
I don't know. How does that work?
Yeah, no, he's just you can resummon him and kill him over and over again.
So
Yeah,
I don't
he comes
know
back.
if I want to do that because of the very destitute state that Holyfield is in. I don't want the kids to see like a ram with like half of its face missing and like an eyeball hanging out. Like they've
Yeah.
seen enough. Like I don't want to just like I
Yeah,
got
nonetheless, make him sit on it or put a
Yeah,
dead
like-
corpse over it.
if Holyfield is in good shape, I'd bring him out and say, "Oh, pet him. He likes to have you rub his chin," but like he's got his like eyeball hanging out. He's missing part of his cheek. Like it's just not
A little
good.
worse for wear.
Yeah, we'll work on him at another time.
I mean, this
Okay.
is also somewhat dense forest, right? So it will be challenging to get the cart through here. Even a mount like the War Ram wouldn't do great kind of getting through these tight woods.
Do you guys like horrific looking rams? Do you like seeing half-rotted animals
You guys like
animated?
going to the petting zoo?
Rotted animals. Oh my god. Yeah, I give
All right.
one of them a piggyback ride. Like I want, do that whole thing.
Okay. The kid who Deckard rescued seems to be the most sort of outgoing. Ludo. He's the skinny one. It was a male and a female, chubby ones that had been in that old bow grinder for weeks at this point. So, but
I can't remember. Am
he
I still werewolf form?
I assumed not over
Not-
the course of your long rest, but if you'd like to continue to be
Oh, we
werewolf
did a long
form-
rest.
Yeah,
Never
you got a
mind.
long rest
Nope.
in.
Yep.
You got a long rest in, which was middle of the day when you guys burnt down the old bone grinder. I mean, at this point, you guys are just burning most of Barovia down to the ground, which maybe
It
is
needs
good.
to be. Yeah, it needs to be burned. This place needs to go.
But yeah, so then it was like 11 in the morning or noon or something when you guys all like formed your camp. You just like were exhausted. I don't know if you remember, but you guys burnt Spargle and Juniper just stood there and just like brought down all the fire they could onto that windmill and just torched it. You guys actually like went to bed that night just watching it like a giant bonfire, kind of almost happy with yourselves. So yeah, you tell me, Deckard, is that like, are you back
Yeah,
to?
I'm not. I think it only lasts an hour.
Yeah, I had the Bruce Banner thing in my head where you were like at
Yeah.
the camp and everything's calm now and you just kind of chilled back out.
Cool.
Sun's getting low.
Yeah. All right. So the only thing I need to know about is the cart. Like, are we doing anything with the cart and what we doing with Blackwind's body? You got to get through these woods.
I
think
mean,
if-
are we better off just dumping the cart?
Who's gonna carry the body?
I'll do it. I mean, does that make sense? And then maybe like everybody else can help with kids.
Yeah,
I'll help with a kid if you'll carry a body. I don't really want to carry a corpse.
I mean, is that unrealistic? Yeah.
No,
Is that-
I mean, you got to think this is Crocus. So if he weighed 170 pounds, at least 50 of that was his head. So you're down to 120.
All right,
I mean,
so
right there.
I could just like carry him like a football.
how art imitates life, huh? That's
right.
just
Right. No, but really, I mean, it's a pretty light body at this point.
Okay.
As
And it's
eaten in a
desiccated,
couple weeks.
probably.
Yeah, has no head.
Then
has
I'll
no
blood
I'll
drips
just
out of it.
I'll just carry him then.
So Alaric's got this this skinny, dilapidated burlap sack of a half a body over his shoulder. It's not difficult for you at all. It doesn't even slow you down.
Does it smell? Does he smell it?
Oh yeah, it smells pretty bad.
that's not me this time.
I'll
I
reach
can-
down if there's like any flowers, and I'll give him a flower. Put this in your nose.
Oh, Juniper, can you rub some lavender over that burlap sack? It reeks of death.
Um,
I thought my ass smelled.
give me a, give me a minute to go through my bag. I might have something in here.
Yeah, Julia.
You'd stick some magic beans up your nose.
Does that count as planting them?
Yeah, I would probably count that as planning.
Um, You know what? Can I use Gust to blow away the stink?
Think so. Not see why not.
Sure, I'm gonna use Gust, which is a cantrip.
So you can kind of so as you guys are like meandering through this forest, occasionally Juniper is just like wiggling her fingers, and this little you feel this like puff of air, Adam, just kind of like going over you, and like suddenly the air you can breathe for a second, and then the smell comes back, moments later, and she's doing this right behind your back the whole way you guys are going through the
Gotcha.
woods.
If
Excellent.
at any point it starts to go on too long where I'm smelling it and Juniper's forgotten, I'll be sure to let her know. I'll just tap her on the shoulder and just be like, "Hey, this stinks again."
Just don't be downwind of it.
I feel like, Juniper might sit atop the bag and just cast from there.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
I like it. And it's verbal and semantic. So that means she's wiggling her fingers and she says a little magic phrase every minute or so.
I feel like instead of wiggling my fingers, I want to do that thing with my hand when you're like trying to get the smell away from you.
Yeah, I like that. That's a better gesture. Just like a. Okay, so you leave the cart behind. You got Blackwood on your shoulder.
Yeah,
You
is
got
there anything on it? Is there any hidden maybe compartments in this cart or anything that we should know about?
make an investigation check.
Good idea.
You're just looking for more pies, aren't you, you fucking weirdo?
7.
Yeah, no, it looks
one
like
of
a
them.
pretty simple construction to you overall.
Okay.
But so you guys start making your way through the woods. The kids are in good spirits, all things considered. I mean, they've greatly improved their situation, and they're by like very competent, friendly people. So they're in the best shape they've been in for weeks, even though they're trudging through this creepy woods. So after a little while, though, you guys are going, and you got your Deckard's got his torch, and Juniper's blowing the stink off of Alaric, and Alaric keeps shifting the weight of Blackwind's half a body on his shoulders. And then at some point, about several hundred yards away through the fog, you see a flickering torchlight.
How far?
It's-
Several hundred feet, you said?
Several hundred feet, several hundred yards. So it's like whoever's in the front just caught a little. I mean, it's so pitch black that you just caught little flickers way off to the side, not necessarily the direction that you're going.
Now, Dan, did you say it's day, but it's pitch black in this?
No, it's midnight, 1 a.m.
okay.
now. Yeah, you guys finished the old bone grinder in the middle of the day and were so exhausted you just kind of slept through the
Yeah.
afternoon and woke up midnight.
I wonder, should we douse our light if we don't want to announce ourselves? If we want to check out that torchlight before they see ours.
I guess, yeah, Deckard puts the torch out.
Everything goes out.
I'll put my hand up and to his forearm, and I'm like, I'll help guide you, Deckard.
Oh, yeah, I hold it out to Spargo. I'm like, hey, man, you go put this flame out.
Yeah. I can extinguish him, but I'm also gonna just like make sure you don't run into any trees or anything.
Yeah, so
Deckard,
once
you
the
have like a
flame goes
little
out, I
kid.
guess-
You're like holding a little kid's hand, basically, or the height of a little kid as they're guiding you through just pitch black.
As it's
Were
pitch
you-
black, I clutch the medallion.
No, the kids cannot see.
So, okay.
So as
So,
soon as you put the
uh,
torchlight out, Thord and the one Ludo who's on your shoulders, he hugs real tight. He hugs real tight around your neck, and he's like, "Why would put the light out?"
Yeah, whoever's next to me, I like grab their shoulder and just walk with them.
I'll scoop
Yeah,
up the back girl.
Spargle put his hand up for you, Deckard, so
Oh,
he's
got it.
kind of guiding you.
Okay.
Would you say, Ragnar?
I'll scoop up the little girl.
Okay. You're an extremely strong guy, so you go to pick up this 10-year-old girl, and you're surprised at how hefty she is. after having been fattened up for a few weeks, but she's not too heavy for you. So she can sit on your shoulder. She could sit on your, on your back, piggyback or whatever, but easily kind of carry her. And then there's one more boy who you guys have learned his name is Tomas. Also a little chubby dude. He's sort of just groping around right now and getting a little bit scared of the darkness.
Oh, come here, little fella. Hang by me.
Okay. So Thornton, you got Ludo on your shoulders, who's getting a little bit, close because he's worried about the darkness, and you hold the other kid's hand. Ragnar's got the other girl up on his shoulder. You guys can continue, but there's this like twinkling torchlight off to the side.
Juniper's still gonna use Gust to move the wind downwind from them. So the smoke from the torch or any smell from the body, etc., is wafted away.
Ah, good. Okay. You're blowing it opposite of the direction of the torchlight you see ahead.
Exactly.
Got it?
What do you think? You think it could be Van Richten?
Probably, right?
You guys whispering?
It's probably Van Richten.
Dude, I like Ben's hair, man. I haven't seen him in a while. He's got some cool locks going on there.
I like his shirt more than that.
And they like your shirt. He said thanks. Thank
That's
you.
cool.
Tell him thanks.
Thank you.
All right, night, bud.
Nah.
All right. So what do you guys want to do?
Keep creeping up.
Yeah, let's. I try to be kind of quiet.
Are you creeping towards the lights, which is a little bit off to the one side, or you continuing like ignoring the light and moving towards where you were going?
I kind of want to hedge here and say let's maybe creep towards the light, but so we can kind of see what it is, but not fully engage until we kind of know more. Because if it is Van Richten, we would want to link up with him.
Yeah.
But if it's the pack of werewolves, so we gotta. Yeah,
we might not.
You gotta hedge.
Yeah, that's a good call. I was thinking it could, if it is Van Richten, it'd be kind of cool. Yeah, I like that plan. So we're cautiously approaching. Is that what we're saying? But as soon as we can figure it out, we'll make a decision. And
yeah, maybe as we pull a little closer, we'll have Deckard go ahead and try and sniff out the situation and maybe do some tracking and some.
I can't see, man.
Aye, but you could smell.
I can't smell a tree if I run into it.
Can't
I don't know how them trees smell down that mountain you grew up in, but you can't smell the trees up here on the surface.
I mean, I can.
Go ahead, honey.
I could probably talk with one of the little critters in the area and have them go over there and scope out the situation for us.
Oh, that's a great idea.
They call you Juniper on the spot.
They do now.
All right. So what do you guys want to? What do you want to do? This little flickering light is just off to the side. You guys have got your whole situation going on here.
Have a squirrel or a bird run up to it, Amber.
Yeah, I'm gonna have, I think, as a forest ring of the forest. I'm sorry, I'm trying to look up the exact thing here. Action, other wild shape, features. Dark vision. Aha! Speak with small beasts. You can communicate simple ideas with small or smaller beasts. So, what I would do is speak with a local squirrel, maybe offer it, some of the, uh, food that I have stashed in my bag, and I would direct it in the direction of the twinkling light, and I would ask it how many people are over there.
All right. Well, first, let's see if you can find a small creature in these
Yeah,
woods.
sure.
'Cause generally speaking, I can't just go in my backyard and go, there's a squirrel. I mean, actually, I can, but not usually. So make a survival check as you look around for a small creature.
16.
16. So you notice it's pretty far away, but you're looking around as you guys are walking for a good couple 100 feet, keeping this torchlight off in the distance in your vision. You do notice that there's a handful of bats hanging from a tree.
Excellent. I love bats. Well, I wouldn't offer it food because I think they eat meat. Um, but, same idea. I'd go over there and maybe introduce myself. I'd be like, hello, my name's Juniper. I'm not really from, this exact part of the woods, but I would very much appreciate it if you could go in the direction of that light and maybe come back and let me know how many people there are over there. And, I'm trying to think of anything else. So Juniper would kind of look to her companions for suggestions. It has to be simple questions, guys.
That seems like a good start. I mean,
Okay.
if it's a bunch of people, we know it's not Ron Rickton, or it could be more danger.
I guess
So-
that's it.
You communicate that to this, probably half a dozen bats just kind of hanging upside down from a branch, couple, 20, 30 feet above you. And they all hear you. So they start to like dismount from the branch and kind of flutter around and flutter around. Two of them come down to you and are just circling as you give these instructions. And you get some squeaking back that
yay.
seems to be acknowledgement of they get what you're saying, and you see them flap away, the two of them, towards the torchlight. Which they move pretty quick as they fly, and but you see as what you approximate them getting closer to the torchlight, that the light starts moving further away. Maybe that the light is fleeing the bats, just happen to be randomly moving that direction. For whatever reason, they keep going that way, and the bats are still going. They're not coming back. So they seem to be in pursuit.
Oh.
So you can wait and see if the bats ever catch them and come back and report, or you can do something else.
I don't think that's like a choice that Juniper would make on her own. What do you guys think? Should we wait for them, or should we maybe go? That light looks like it's moving away.
I don't know if we should look for trouble.
Not when we have kids.
Yeah.
I could maybe take to the sky and try to scope it out from the air. If you want me to fly over there. It's dark. I don't think they'd see me if I'm kind of high up. Is it? I hope not.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it is. You should do that.
Actually, let me take a look here. See what level fly is.
You see the bats, tell them I said hello.
Yeah. I will. Yeah, I'm going to do that, Dan. I'm going to cast fly. And then I could shoot off. I'm going to try to get a little bit high so that you know what I mean? Like I'm not easily spotted. But if I have trouble making out what I see, maybe I can descend a little bit. If I see a large, angry mob of howling things, and I'll stay high.
I dig it. All right, let me see. Let's see how fast a bat flies. 30 feet per second. With your flight, you're twice as fast as the bats.
Yeah.
So so as soon as you guys notice the bats take off, Juniper talks to the bats, they take off, the torchlight starts to move away from you, and Spargle mutters a little spell and wiggles his fingers, and he floats up off the ground and then goes shooting off like pretty damn fast. I mean, he's faster than when Deckard in werewolf forms in a full sprint. So he's flying almost like Superman speed. And yeah, you kind of like.
Can I say one thing before I go though? Before I take off though, actually,
Yeah.
I just think, could you guys at least like maybe just pace along? Like, you know what I mean? You don't have to get closer, but just so you don't fall way behind. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
You didn't want to say to infinity and beyond?
Sorry, Dan. Go ahead. That's
So,
right, take off.
Deckard, you Spargle takes off, so you were holding his little hand, and now you're just kind of like fumbling around, in the darkness a little bit.
Man, that guy's faster than a prisoner in a whorehouse.
We gotta make a little book of Deckardisms.
Deckardisms?
We just have to.
Yes.
But so that I don't just leave you fumbling, I take your hand and then being a little bit of ornery, I just say, here, you can hang on to Thoradin, and I put your hand on his bum, and then I take off.
Deckard gives it a squeeze.
Hey, buy me an ale first,
All right, so Spargle, you go flying up, and you catch up pretty quickly to the bats, and also the lights. And as you get closer, you see it's a singular sort of torchlight, and as you get within like sort of eye shot, where you would be able to see it, in daylight, what was there, the torchlight flutters as it continues to move away from you. You don't lose sight of it, and you make your way quickly and cautiously through the fog, until the light sort of just disappears.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Into what looks like the shell of a ruined tower. The upper floors of the structure have collapsed, leaving heaps of rubble and shattered timber around the tower's base. And the light that you were following, it starts to dim a lot, and it moves through an open doorway. You're not able to see what's holding it or moving it, but it moves through an open doorway on the ground floor, and then it flickers and goes out.
Does it look like the tower we were in?
No, this looks like even more like ancient and ruined. This looks like it's barely... I mean, it's just like the shell, like the outer stones of a tower that maybe existed a long time.
And it's okay. And then, all right. So, but there is like kind of like, are there any like holes in the building where I could kind of like see in, or?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can, and it's just like barely a pile of rocks.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's a tower, but it doesn't really have any floors left in it. They've all crumbled apart. You don't see anything like interesting. You don't see any furniture or anything like that. It's sort of like, yeah, literally just the shell. Stone shell of a tower that's probably 50% of the original structures intact.
Okay. But there's no like windows or anything for me to kind of peek into, kind of sneak.
I mean, you're still a little bit a ways.
Okay.
You'd have to get a little bit closer, but nothing super interesting yet.
I'm gonna try to get a little closer, and And I don't see anything else besides like, okay, I saw that thing go up, but I don't see any other movement on the ground, any other. critters
Make a
or anything
perception
on the ground.
check. Make a perception check. Like a site-based perception check, if that helps you
Gotcha.
with advantage or anything.
16.
16. So oddly, the light has gone out completely. Hold on one second before I go any further. So you were flying towards this tower. You're there. If the group, you told the group to follow. Did the group follow?
Yeah, I would say we did, but not one to one. We were cautiously with behind.
Not
Well,
sprinting.
and you have to navigate the woods. You've got kids. Deckard can't see. You're carrying a body, so you're going to move about 20 feet per round, where he was moving about 60. So you guys, I just want to know, you're still heading the same direction, but you're a few hundred feet away from where he's at.
Yeah.
But Sparkle, when you get closer and with your perception check, you see that there is nothing interesting about this tower. The light's completely gone. There's nobody there. You don't see any humans or creatures of any sort at all, but you do see a chest on like an old wooden beat up chest on the back side of say there's like a circular first floor made out of stone, like old crumbled stone and gravel. And then tucked, like buried into the gravel and stone, looks like a chest that might have been buried by half of the building coming down itself.
Okay. But no other motion or movement or anything else that's.
No, now there's no light. It's silent. That's it.
So the light kind of was just moving that way, extinguished. I didn't see anything carrying it. And now all I see is this rubble and like a half buried chest of,
Yep. Exactly. Pretty good sized chest, but beat up and rotted and stuff too.
Interesting. Okay. I'm going to, this is weird, right? So I find this pretty weird. I don't think I can't do anything that's going to mess with my concentration here. I think I'm going to kind of fly back and report. I'm keeping a little bit lower now, though, because something seems off to me. You know what I mean? How did that torch get there? Who was bearing this torch? You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to see. I don't want it to be, I don't know. If something's luring us into something, you know what I mean? I'm a little wary of this. And I'll go back to the group and report exactly what I saw.
Okay, so you only need to go about half the way back that you came because they were coming towards you, and you kind of swoop back down with your flight and kind of land in front of everybody as they're trying to keep up with you, and tell them what you saw. What would you guys like to do?
Very weird. I didn't see. I have no idea what was carrying that light or what.
The only thing you ever saw was the light itself.
And it was like a torchlight. It wasn't like anything unnatural, like a. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it did it seem to me like flame? You know.
It was hard to tell. Like by the time you got close enough to see what was creating the light was gone.
It was already okay.
Yeah.
I'll share that too. I'm like, I don't know if it was a torch or something, but it was lit. And
hold on, I'll give you. It'll be a stretch, but I'll give you some sort of a perception check if you want to take it. If you want to try it,
I'll try it.
It was real dark and you were real far away, so
17.
Yeah, not 100% sure. It definitely seemed abnormal. It did. I'll give you that. It after you followed it and the way it moved and stuff, it definitely didn't just feel like a dude carrying a torch around the woods.
Okay.
But you're not sure.
I'll share that as well too, with the group then. I don't know. It's pretty weird. I don't know.
It's still pretty late, right?
Yeah, it's like 2 a.m.
Yeah, we got kids with us. I don't know.
Can we mark this on the map and come back to it at another time?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the chest is, or if anything, it looked old and rotted.
Sounds like a trap.
It does kind of.
Yeah, let's.
Sounds like a will-o'-the-wisp. Graveyard people. I don't like it.
Okay. I think that makes sense. Can we kind of plot it on where our map, like where we're at?
Yeah, we have copies of the map.
Yeah.
I know, but like with our current position and stuff.
Yeah, why doesn't whoever wants to try to triangulate and figure out based on the maps that you have? You guys have some good maps and where you're at, where precisely this location is. Make a survival check, and depending on how well you do with that, that'll gauge how difficult it'll be to find it in the future. I'll keep
Maybe
track of it.
Juniper. She's from here.
She's definitely the most comfortable in these thick woods out of all of you. 18. Nice. Okay. So Juniper, you kind of like make a mental note, and you feel pretty confident that if you were anywhere within several hundred yards of this spot, that you could find it again.
I also have cartography tools.
Ooh.
Can I do something with that? Let's just try to double check. Like, can I help her with that? And like we can put our heads together.
If you want to do that, I would say the smart thing to do would be let Juniper roll with advantage, right? So she's using her natural ability, but you're also sharing, some of your maps and tools with her. So Juniper, if you want to roll another one, and maybe you get even better than 18.
No.
Okay. Well, 18's solid. So
I don't know how to use these tools. I don't know what this is.
I dropped my T-square.
I have an excellent sense of direction. I do
get
not need your
charcoal
help.
on my hands.
So Juniper, if you brought the group back into the general vicinity, you could pinpoint this tower again.
I got the
Excellent.
map upside down.
So you guys going to continue towards the winery?
Yeah, fuck this place.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Those
Good
jokes.
call.
So the rest of your travel towards the winery goes pretty uneventful. You do have to cross the river. So I forgot the name of it. The Ivlis something, whatever. Fucking Barovian River.
Did we
Uh,
cock the wagon and ford it?
What's that?
We cocked the wagon and forded the river.
Right.
It's an F Jord. Will.
Area.
What's that?
It's an F Jord, not a fjord.
F. Jordan. Can everybody? Well, how are you crossing the river? Tell me
We're
that.
gonna throw Blackman's body in there and then step on it.
Like I said, we're caulking the wagon and fording it.
We don't have the wagon anymore.
We ditched the wagon.
Oh
ditched
man, I thought we were doing some
But
Morgan Trail
speaking
stuff.
of dead weight, we do have Blackman, so we do.
Could we make a raft out of him, or
I'm here for it.
Making a raft out of Blackwood?
Yeah, can we do that?
I know. I don't think he's that. He's just not that voluminous.
Not that buoyant, right? He's
Not
not
that
that buoyant.
That's right.
I don't know. It's probably filled with some gases because when you die, you get filled with gas. You're the DM, not me.
Yeah. No, you cannot make a raft out of Blackwood. Maybe for like one of the kids.
Oh, okay. All right. That's something.
It's so I don't want to overstate the river. It's waist high for even the short folk. It's cold. It's clear water. It's actually very very clear and clean and cool water for anybody that needs to sort of refresh on water skins. But if you feel like if you figured out how to get the kids across, that the rest of you can make it across fairly easily. by just wading through it. So I don't want to make a big deal about a small stream.
I'll put 2 kids on my shoulders.
Can we throw them
East,
across?
I'm on the left after.
I don't know if you can quite throw them across. Maybe a little bit. Maybe it's 20 feet across.
What if me and Alaric kind of,
Toss me.
give him the old heave ho?
Can I just grab all 3 kids and just start walking across myself?
But what
You
about
can-
While everybody's trying to figure this out?
You got the corpse.
Because if I'm doing my math right, the water should be up to about my shins.
But
Yeah,
what
yeah.
about Crocus?
All you have to do with that is tie a rope to the bag and then tie the rope around your body and they'll float behind you. Not that
That's
I've
a
ever
good
moved a
point.
body before. but,
Yeah,
you know.
like why do you know
Yeah.
such specific detail about this?
Yeah,
We all have
you,
a rope,
Water
right?
did the work, guys.
you got quite a strategy down there.
Mm-hmm.
Don't
That's
strain
not something you
yourself.
see every day. You know, we're it's 2 a.m. and you're chucking kids across a river, towing a dead body in a burlap bag across.
Hope
the
nobody
river.
happens
Yeah,
upon us.
Nothing to see here.
All right, so I'll tie a knot from the sack to Alaric's ankle.
I don't think
All right.
you'd want it on his ankle because then his leg would start to like float up. You'd want it
No,
around
he's,
his
he's good. He's good. He don't mind.
Load me up. I don't care.
All right, so Alaric, you've got kids. Thoradin's dragging Blackwind's body through the water on a rope.
I'm just treating it like bath day and going through.
You're gonna want to go through before we put Blackwind's body in it, though. Believe me,
That's a good point.
Oh,
those
yeah,
waters
he
are
might,
gonna
yeah,
be
I'll-
polluted for a while.
he might break apart and stuff.
He
right,
might break apart.
How about everybody just make a survival check?
Yeah, all right, that's cool.
Just straight up survival check.
Oh, I'm good. I can't wait to see Alaric's roll. I can't wait. Oh, good. You did good.
All right. Yeah, you guys just you guys do great. So you just roll right up. Juniper kind of at one point slips on a rock and kind of goes under. Whoever's standing right next to her, though, I don't know, whoever that might be, would just sort of pick her up and just pull her back up out of the water. She kind of like spits out some water, sets her back down, and you have no problem getting across the river.
Or we just let her go downstream, and that's the end.
Yeah, I don't think
Well, I
anybody
guess
spoke
I
up.
shouldn't make your decision for you. So,
She does all the damage.
Deckard, Juniper goes down, like slips on a rock and goes under the water right next to you at one point as you're crossing the river.
She goes down and Deckard says, "Oh, holy buckets! Here, come here, girl."
Blub, blub, blub.
Picks her up, helps her out.
Buckets.
Holy bucket.
Spits out a minnow. Yeah, so no sweat. You guys get across the river. The kids actually even find it entertaining that they're doing this. And you make it back up to the old Spalich Road, which is like your sort of bearings, your landmark of where you're very familiar now because you've been this way several times. So you guys can continue west with no issue whatsoever. It's getting really close to what is that called? The twilight, or just that like pre-dawn part of the day, where it's almost like a glimpse of the sun or what comprises a sun in this land.
Dusk? That's
This
called dusk.
dusk, pre-dusk, maybe. Yeah. So dusk. It's 5 a.m, let's say.
Do we take a couple hour snoozer? I mean, I don't think we're going to want to come trudging into the Martikovs at 5 a.m.
Well, I mean, where you're at now, you still may have an hour and a half or so to get to the winery. That's where you're going.
Those fucking birds are up early.
We don't have time.
You always
can't
hear
stop.
them screaming.
Okay, keep it moving. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, if you plow forward to the winery, you get there with no problem whatsoever. Except I don't know where my winery went. Let's try this. This is old school right here.
That's crazy. Do you still have our tokens on it still? Huh?
Yeah, it keeps them.
man.
Yeah. So I don't know that I really need to show the winery here. It has to be more trouble than it's worth. So, but in any event, you guys reached the winery. And it is, it's dawn now. It's 6:37 in the morning, and it's kind of bustling, right? There's people moving around. There's the Davian Martikov's sort of clan working. It's just an active winery. There's people out in the fields picking grapes. Based on what Juniper had done weeks ago to kind of like reinvigorate the land around here, it looks like their crops are healthy. And they're in the process of like harvesting grapes and bringing them into the inside and doing what they do with it. You see people running around. As you approach, I assume you're going to just approach without being sneaky about it or anything. You're just kind of walking up.
Yes, and in fact, I'm going to give the old.
Is it is there a screen or is it just a black screen?
Oh, could be my bad here. What are you guys seeing?
I see the
just see-
winery.
I see black.
Maybe refresh the browser.
Maybe it was because he wasn't a part of this when we did this. I don't
Oh,
know.
he was, because we
Why
lit the
was-
thing on fire.
Well, it doesn't matter too much there.
Okay.
You don't see anything though?
Nothing. Pitch black.
Okay. Well, but what you see is the winery kind of cruising the way it has been. And when they see the party approach, and Thoradin given the official Keepers of the Feathers signal, that super secret one that he only does in public around many people. A couple of the younger workers here go running inside, and then moments later, Davian comes out. He says, "Oh, my friends, how goes things in Vallaki?"
Oh, great. Have you heard from Nathaniel Swift yet?
Sadly, no. We've kind of given up hope on the man. He may have deserted. It's rare, but for some reason, it's we just haven't heard back from his last mission.
We looked for a bird corpse, right? I forgot. We did.
Yeah, yeah.
You gave it a cursory glance and then burned the whole place down.
Okay.
It's just a
No,
Tuesday night for us.
I definitely remember looking in the grounds for a
Tuesday
dead
night.
bird.
Yeah, you guys did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, so yeah.
He says, "Yeah, no. Nathaniel is he's just missing at this point."
It's a cold case.
Yeah.
Oh well.
He looks at the kids though, and he's like, "Oh, I see you found some new little friends."
Oh yeah, they've been through a lot. You wouldn't even believe it.
Did you get any birds coming through here? Any ravens?
We did fairly recently, and understand that the operation at the old windmill is shut down. That's they weren't able to explain details, but they said that you had something to do with it.
Aye, they were cooking kids, Davian.
And ravens.
Oh, he's like upset about the kids, and then really upset about the ravens.
We didn't see any were-ravens, but there were a
Not
lot of
good,
dead regular ravens.
No word from Nathaniel then. He was scouting the old windmill when your team approached. We sent him over there to warn you from the danger that those old hags posed, and I'm sorry that he was never able to convey that message.
That was
Yeah, that would have been a good one.
that was nice of you, though.
Would have been a big help.
Yeah.
Probably would have saved your friend's life.
Yeah. That's all right. We got him now, and he doesn't talk as much. It's great.
Win-win.
Win-win.
He says, but so these children, whose are they?
Their parents sold them to the witches,
I think they're ours now.
fattening them up on all sorts of sweetmeats.
Wondering if you needed a few hands here at the winery.
They can't go home. Their parents sold them.
Oh, what awful people.
That's why they're so fat. That they were feeding them food nonstop.
Oh, well, we would never make children work for us, but they, it seems like they have nowhere else to go. We will gladly take them in here and care for them, and when they're of age to contribute, they will, of course.
Davin, as long as you could promise you'll take care of them.
Oh, of course.
Appreciate that.
Yes, and he snaps his fingers, and a couple younger of the actually the one woman who Raven, who you may remember from the Swamps of Berez, who was scouting the place.
Yeah, I talked to her.
Yeah, you talked to her. She's back here, and she is the one that emerges and immediately starts engaging with the children and starts playing with them. And she's like, "Hey, kids, you want to see a trick?" And they're all mesmerized. And she turns herself into a were-raven and starts fluttering around. And she lands on Ludo's shoulder and just playfully kind of pecks at his ear a couple times, and then pops back into her human form. And she says, "I'm sorry of everything that happened to you kids, but this is a really fun place, and you'll be safe here now." And they look really relieved and happy. Tomas looks hungry because he's just fat. And no, I'm kidding. But they usher him off to the side, and they're like, I mean, if you guys are okay with it, they're gonna take the kids and just start letting them be part of the winery.
Nice.
So I give all the kids a hug, and I say, "All right, little ones, you gotta leave now. Uncle Thoradin has stuff to do."
And they get a couple of them that were like kind of hanging with you more, give you a big hug, and they're like, "Thank you so much, sir. Please come back here. We'd love to see you again. We owe you so much."
One day I'll show you the great dwarven halls, and when you get older, we can have a few drinks.
That sounds awesome. Thank you, sir. Thank you, mister. And they start just running around, and Muriel, I think her name was, is almost equally playful as the kids. Like, she almost, as an adult, she just seems to like just slot into this, like, having fun and running around, and they're just tearing through the winery, just sort of laughing and giggling. And Davian looks back at you guys and he says, "They'll be in good hands, and I do appreciate you looking out for the innocent. Where to next? Is there anything we can help you with?"
Did he? I'm worried I missed it. Did he say anything about Vallaki yet? Has Vallaki been discussed with?
He didn't mention it yet, and I think we asked if any ravens got back to him.
Got it. Hey, any word out of Vallaki? Anything going on there?
I need to kind of double check this. I thought that they already knew about the situation of Vallaki and had started to redirect their wine sales to the village of Barovia. Does that ring a bell with anyone?
That
true?
sounds very familiar.
I didn't know if I'm curious if they're familiar with the fact that someone burned the whole effing place to the ground.
Yeah. No, I think they were. I wish I would remember more of how that all kind of played out, but I think you have been here or interacted with them Hold on a second.
Not since we burned it down. We have since when the Lady Wachter took over, and it was crazy there.
Oh, right. So you were here. So you were actually here 3 days ago,
Right.
and they suggested that.
Oh, maybe that's when we were going to sneak in.
Yeah,
They
so
suggested
we
that
have not
perhaps-
talked to them since we burned the place to the ground.
Right. Now they're aware of it, though. I mean, they have
Okay.
enough scouts and stuff that they know Valaki was down, has been, on fire and burnt to the ground.
They
So
just might not know it was us.
Right.
Any word on that fire up in Valaki? You guys hear about that?
Oh, I heard somebody. There was a brush fire and it caught in the city.
Well, good for
Sparkle's
them.
like not catching up with you guys. He's just like looking around, like, what are you talking about?
Wait, out of character. Didn't you like send rabbits or something? Weren't there like rabbits running around on fire?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
we sent
yeah.
rabbits as a distraction, like a horde of rabbits.
Bunch of rabbits burned down the town.
Oh my god. It's like the
Flaming
Chicago
rabbits.
fire with the cow.
Donnie Darko
What was the rabbits? Why did we use rabbits? I don't.
to
Well,
distract
I was
the
on
crowd.
a rabbit kick because we turned Ulrich into a
Fuzzy
Big
bunny.
hair.
yeah,
He was the fuzzy bunny. He was really cute.
That's
That's,
just
right.
one with a
That's
rabbit.
That's right.
And we have a penchant for sending animals to their doom for a quick distraction.
True. Yeah, so yeah, right. They're aware that Valaki burned down. They're not exactly sure why. When you say that, they're like, "Well, good. They had it coming to them." Especially Davian says, especially after the way they treated my son and his wife, Erwin, and the Blue Water Inn, right? Because that was, if you guys remember, Lady Wachter and Ernst drove the Keepers of the Feather out of the Blue Water Inn after you guys left, and all that stuff. So they have no love lost with Valaki burning to the ground. But who was saying the? So Thornton, make a deception check because you offered the idea that it was a brush fire.
8.
Oh shit!
Yeah. So you're like, yeah, well, I heard it was a brush fire, and Davian goes, yeah, brush fire. He's like, that's a good brush fire there. And he just kind of like shakes his head, and he's like, yeah. He goes, well, Kresk and the village will be more than happy to take the limited supply we have off of our hands, and that count or countess who had taken over in Valaki, I hope she burned in the fire herself.
Oh shit!
I would love to have be able to confirm that. Actually, I don't like that old rod.
Maybe
what
when
if
it's
she
done
died?
burning down, we'll go check for corpses.
Yeah, one day just see if the Wachters are still in control, or although we probably.
I just wonder if they put the fire out. I wonder if it just took the whole city.
We owe them all a visit, but
Yeah, you guys, from what you saw over the 48 hours after you left there and were up in the old bone grinder, it looked like the place was burning to the ground. Like you didn't see much of a skyline left there when you looked back.
Before we arrived, these people had a baron who was like not so bad that we murdered.
Right, not terrible, not great.
He made them do these stupid festivals every 2 weeks to keep Strahd away, and then you guys stopped them doing the festivals, and then something came and started killing everybody. Yeah, it's actually comic. But, yeah.
And then we burned their town down.
Oh, we did.
A whole town. We took out a city, basically.
They would gladly have gone through the festivals a few more times than that, but
Who was worse, us or Strahd?
I know.
Davian. I don't know how to say his name, and I'm the dungeon master, so it's whatever. Davian.
call him Dave.
Dave asks you guys. So what else can I help you guys with here? Where are you heading next? Can I set you up with any support? Any equipment you guys need?
Got any other towns we can burn to the ground?
It's like we only got two left there, so let's leave them alone.
If we get them all, I mean, there's no reason to take out Strahd, right?
And then we beat the game, right?
Right. He's just gonna leave.
Dragon Crush.
Strahd gets to rule over nothing.
Who was the vampire? I can't think of his name either.
Vasily.
Silly.
Vasily, the fancy
Vasily
pants.
von Holst.
Yeah. Vasily, remember we asked them to kind of try to keep an eye out for him?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yep. Good call.
Did anything on Vasily or God, my
Irina.
brain tonight. What's her
Irina.
Anything on Vasily or Irina? Any spotting?
Great question. No, yeah, good call. I forgot about that. So he says our best scouts have been watching the refugees flee from Vallaki. We have eyes on the village of Barovia. And for the last few days, we have not had any sighting of your Lord Vasily or the woman that you traveled here with previously. We're looking, though, and we'll keep eyes out. Where are you guys headed? Where are you guys going to be if we do spot her? Where can I send her? Or where can I send word?
Yeah,
Press. Got it. Okay.
Have you seen Van Richten?
Van Richten. Oh, the Rictavio fella who had made contact with Erwin and your friends. No, we have not. He is sort of an elusive man himself. But no recent sightings of him either.
And the
Can you
peg leg
keep an eye
broad.
out for him too?
What's that, Ragnar?
Can you keep an eye out for him too? And if you see his wagon, we lost him. We don't know where it is.
Yes, absolutely. Do you have a location? You have a vicinity that you'd like us to scout out that we could send our birds to?
He was heading west, right? Outside of the town.
West
There's
of
a couple
Vallaki?
places.
Yeah, he was west of Alakis when we lost him.
Okay.
You could check out the tower where we found him, right? Like where perhaps check out the tower. Be careful because the werewolves that we ran into, but that tower where we originally found him. Maybe he.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. We will. We'll send a small flock there to scout it out. And yes, we don't worry about werewolves. Fortunately, they can't fly. That's the one advantage we have, a clear advantage we have over them. They tend to stay, we've noticed a concentration of them well to the northwest, even beyond Kresk. But we've avoided it for what it's worth.
Do I sense Kirill in that direction?
Yes.
We were wondering, Will, that's who you have your tag on, right? Okay.
In hindsight, I wish I'd tagged Vasily as he walked away with Irina.
Yeah, we didn't know.
I almost dimension doored with her instead of hanging in that fight, and I regret it. One more quick question here too. Do you guys? And I'm not asking you to because I wouldn't. I'm sure that this could be perilous. But do you ever scout out like the area of Castle Ravenloft? Do you keep any tabs, or is that dangerous?
No, there is a dome of thick fog that prevents us from getting too close, whether it's from air or ground.
Okay.
So we can help sort of scout from a distance, but we can't get, unfortunately, the Dark Lord's sort of presence just kind of prevents us from getting closer.
Got it.
I have a
Hey guys, sorry, I gotta take a quick piss. So can we do
can we take
5
5?
minutes?
I'm gonna say
Yeah,
goodnight to everybody.
Yeah, let's take 5 here. We'll be back at like 10:15. Oh, hi. What's up? You're pretty.
Did Adam finish his his project in his room there? The doorway and all that?
The hard part's done.
Yeah.
He's got the hole cut and all the
Drywall.
shit moved. All the like the plumbing and the HVAC and electrical moved. That was the big.
Right.
Right. They popped the
Got into the
drywall up.
wall.
Right. They're like, oh, we're just gonna poke a hole in here, and then they cut the drywall out, and they're like, oh shit, like everything runs through this wall.
Don't you know it? And that like just like how home improvement things work. That it's always like it's never easy. It just never easy.
Right. Like if I set myself up for like a job that's gonna suck ass and ends up going pretty smooth, the routine ones where you're like, I'm just gonna no big deal, I'm just gonna cut a hole in this wall, then it's a fucking 12
Did you had to move all your plumbing and stuff for your basement too, right? Like, but didn't you also have to move? Did you have to move your furnace or not? I remember you had to move your hot water.
I didn't have to, but I did, and I ended up just hiring a plumber, paying him an arm and a leg, because because back in the day, used to have your hot water tank needed to be by the exterior wall.
Right.
Because they didn't have this like 2-stage venting of the carbon monoxide or whatever, so it had to be on an outer wall. And so my basement had this stupid ass finished basement, had this like one corner with this like little room right where we play D&D now.
D&D, yeah.
That was like they built like a little room around a hot water tank. It was the stupidest fucking thing. And I paid a plumber and now my hot water tank's in the middle of the basement, has that 2-stage venting. He had to reroute like half my plumbing, which was good because it used to take our hot water in our shower. This doesn't seem like a lot, but at least 3 minutes to even start to get warm.
Yeah.
Which, you're in the morning, you like turn on the shower and you got to fucking wait 3 minutes. I always had to remember to turn it on before I brush my teeth and shit. And now it's like, because of the way he rerouted it, I just turn the shower on. It's hot immediately.
That's sweet.
But that was like $4,000.
Those recycling tanks on it.
What was $4,000? The plumbing?
The plumbing, a new hot water tank, getting rid of the old hot water tank, kind of basically redid all the plumbing that goes up from my basement into the rest of the house.
But that helps your layout a ton too. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
Was that for the kitchen or for when you redid the basement?
Was when I redid the basement.
I just had a new hot water tank put in too. Just
stupidest. Oh, you did?
Uh-huh.
Nice.
A new hot water tank?
I know. I had my plumber do it that was doing some other water.
What brand did you get? Do you know?
I have no idea. I just told him, I said I wanted something good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
my plumber recommended, and then I did some research that A.O. Smith or whatever it is like, it's like this, it's like really like, it's not a flashy brand, but it's like really high quality shit.
Yeah. There's two. A.O. Smith and another one. I can't think of the name of it. That are like
I have one. It's I had a new one installed right after I'd moved into the house. It's a I forget. Starts with a B. I had to have a new water pump installed this weekend.
In your vehicle?
What's that?
Oh, you have well water.
You have well water there?
Dan, that's what I got, by the way, an A.O. Smith about 6 months ago when I got mine.
Yeah, I think they're supposed to be the most reliable, which is all I care about. I don't care about efficiency. I don't care about features. I just want it to fucking not break down.
I have one of those recycling things, too, hooked up to it, those pumps, that basically takes the water in the hot water, and then it pulls it back through the cold water line and then heats it up. Like, so it keeps it so your lines in the hot water line are actually hot.
That's cool. I've heard of that. Yeah, that's neat. That's awesome. Amber, you back?
Yeah.
All right. So Dave says, what do you guys need anything else? Can I help you out? They've taken the children from you. You guys feel generally comfortable that they're going to take good care of them. He says, where are you guys heading now?
We're gonna head to Kresk.
Kresk.
Ah, Kresk. Good. Would you mind, in an act of good faith, taking a couple crates of grape mash number 3?
Oh, we'd love to.
Yeah, I'm sure they'd appreciate that too.
Do you have any loyal steeds we could borrow as we go?
He says, well, I mean, if you're really in a pinch, we'll help, but we're down to just a few of our transport livestock, and our new sales are going to go to the village of Barovia. The new mayor there, Izek, says things are going well, and he intends to start supplying the town with wine. So that's now that Valaki mysteriously burnt down. He gives you a wink. Well, that's going to be our new customer base, Kresk and the village.
Did you say Izek?
Yeah, Izek, the old,
What does he look like?
Izek, the old burgomaster of the village, his son. So this group, Ragnar, you may not know, but Izek was.
Now,
Not
Izek,
Izek. You mean
Ismark, sorry, I
Ismark?
said
Yeah,
the wrong thing.
Bismarck.
Ismark, okay.
we thought we just learned a massive piece of information.
Yeah, I thought Izek.
No.
I was like,
Sorry,
wait,
my
what?
bad. No.
Ismark
I said
was brother,
Izek.
right?
Ismark, my bad.
I
Yeah,
thought he was
Ismark.
birthday. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Ismark.
Ismark. Right. No, Ismark, the son of the brother of Irina and the son of
The burgomaster.
the burgomaster who was already deceased when you guys arrived, is now the burgomaster of the village of Barovia.
That's great.
Dan, I can't remember. What did I do with Snickers?
He's at Kresk.
Okay.
They're taking good care of him. You double checked that they were going to treat him well and
Probably
make
fucking
sure. Now the Crest people were cool. The Crest Baron was just cool. He was like, "Hey, if you're going to go up into the Abbey, there's some crazy shit going on up there. So don't rock the boat because we got this like tenuous kind of relationship with what's going on up there. And as long as you don't cause any trouble, we're good." So he was cool with you guys, and he took care of Snickers and.
Oh yeah, that's where all like the peg people are, right?
Yeah, the mutants. I want to go see them again.
Yeah, the peg people, right?
Yeah.
How much do you want us to take up there? I was under the assumption we'd need horses in a trailer because
He's got like 2 cases that, I mean, the wine fields and the grapes are growing well, but there's just that time it takes them to
yeah,
ferment into wine and stuff. So they're not producing at volume yet. They will be, and they're in good shape. But so they're trying to distribute what they have produced to kind of keep,
wet everybody's beak a little.
Right. Keeping good relations with their key customers. Kresk seems to be one, and then the village of Barovia is now their new customer, who was previously too poor and destitute to really afford any of their wine. Valaki was their like go-to, right? Valaki was like that's where they sold all their wine, through Irwin being running the Blue Water Inn, but that whole place supposedly burned down. So now they have to find a new customer base.
that might swell the town a little bit of Barovia. All these immigrants from Valaki looking for a home.
The tricky part with the village of Barovia is it literally lives in the shadows of Castle Ravenloft.
Right.
So if you think of, there's the spire, they call it, or the like sort of what's that rock structure? It's like a plateau, but it's just like a sharp spike upwards into the sky. I forget what. I didn't pass geology, I guess.
Buttress?
No. whatever it is. It's just sort of like a mountain it's like a sharp little mountain with a peak on it, and that's where Castle Ravenloft sits on top of. And then literally in its shadow, at the base of that spire, for lack of the proper term, is the village of Barovia. It was, when you guys came through, the most destitute, miserable town, constantly being tormented by Strahd and zombies and werewolves. Everything was like torn up. No one was ever leaving their house, if you remember that. That's where you guys met Irina.
Real fucking shithole.
Real shithole. But sounds like they might be doing a little better. And now we're getting wine from the Wizard of Wines.
That's right. We could only get like roots there and shit. And
Right. Yeah, they had some everything was crappy there. But Davian is asking you, what can I do for you guys? Anything I can help you with? I'm more than happy to supply you or support you guys.
Question for Davian. So Davian, east of here, we encountered a strange light in the woods. And it led my friend over here to a ruined tower, and there was some sort of a chest. Does that sound like anything familiar to you guys?
I'm going to roll on this. He says, no, it doesn't sound familiar. We could send some scouts if you know the general vicinity, but no, that doesn't ring
I
a
know
bell.
exactly where it is. And she taps on the side of her head with her forefinger.
And he says, well, if you can give us sort of general vicinity and directions, I could send a flock out, and maybe next time you guys come through here, we'll know more.
just be careful. Something seemed off about it, and just seemed a little unnatural around it. So maybe keep it to the air or something.
Appreciate that. Yeah, for sure. That's common around here. So thanks for the heads up. And Juniper, if you explain to them the general vicinity, they'll kind of get the gist of it.
Excellent.
Sorry, Juniper, go ahead.
No, I was just saying good. Go right ahead.
We said where Tavio might be, like the tower and stuff like that. But did we say anything? Should we tell them if they find him? Do we want to tell him to meet us anywhere, guys, or what if they do see him, or relay a message or anything?
Yeah, probably meet us at the winery, right? We'll be there in a few days' time.
Yeah, that's going to be like our hub.
Okay. So we'll probably go up to Kreskin, and our game plan probably before we go anywhere else is come back to the
Right, because eventually I think we have to go to the Amber Temple.
Yeah, we got
Amber Temple. Is our next hit. Yeah.
Are you saying that? Are you guys talking amongst yourselves?
Yeah, I'll mention it.
Yeah, I didn't do my voice, but yes.
So Dave, Davian says, he says, after you guys say all that, he goes, okay, yeah, absolutely, I got it. So we'll send, he looks at Juniper and he says, got the location, general vicinity, stay in the air. We'll send a flock there, see what we can find out about this tower. Looks at Sparkle too. Looks back over at Thornton and he says, okay, yeah, we've heard of this temple. The best we know, I think we talked about this last time you were here, is there's only so far we can get up into those mountains, our ravens. The air gets too thin, and there is an enormous bird of a creature, not one of ours, that kind of blocks any further passage up into the mountains where the Amber Temple is. He says, but we can point you in the right direction, and we can get you supplied if that's where you guys are going to head.
If we need to kill the bird, where do we start?
He says, my advice would be to avoid it. I've heard that the beast is unimaginably large.
So is my ass, but we're gonna have to fight it eventually.
Gonna have to fight your ass.
We fight it every time we make camp.
I didn't sign up to fight your ass. I don't know.
I think we head to Kresk now, lads.
Big Dave, we appreciate you.
He starts to more enthusiastically give you the ridiculous thing back. Like he's given up on the like this is silly and just kind of like gets that that's what you guys do now and reciprocates. He says yeah your path to Kresk should be clear, but you will always have if you look up you'll see us, and I think your little lady friend knows how to communicate with us if she needs it, if we need any help.
We just don't want to travel on an empty stomach. What kind of grub you got? And don't tell me you got fucking beets and turnips and old parsnips. I want some sweet meats and some bacon.
So as you're asking for food, he starts to like get excited about being able to, but once you mention meat, he kind of like looks disappointed and he says, I'm sorry, my friend. We're all, none of us eat other creatures.
You got fucking seeds and grains. I don't want it. I want meats.
He says, "Well, you got to give it a chance. We've perfected the culinary arts of the what we grow here on the grounds." And he will bring food, bread, roasted carrots, roasted beets. No meat though. These birds don't eat other poultry or beef, and so hooks you guys up with some good food and stuff. Again, you guys keep hearing the children sort of laughing and running around. This is like probably the most joyous, peaceful place and scene that you guys have been around since being in Barovia. Like this seems to be a little sanctuary of normalcy at this point that you guys have helped create.
I know Jalark, and I'm like, can we eat the boys? Can we eat the children?
I mean, is it really moral to leave children with a bunch of vegetarians?
That's true. It'd be a better fate for me.
Gordon's brushing the children with butter and
Oh my god.
All right. Alaric just walks away from the conversation.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Lark. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
You're a paladin of what?
a hungry paladin.
Of the
hungry. I've been eating fucking parsnips and beets for fucking 3 weeks. I'm tired of this shit.
He's a paladin of the Church of Gluttony.
Yeah.
Eating fucking succotash the last fucking month. I'm sick of it.
Fuck it.
Holy hunger vengeance.
Wedding soup.
Yeah, enough. I want
So-
fucking... Go ahead, sorry.
No, I mean you can keep talking about your shit. Davian does say though he goes all right. Well, he goes if you guys decide to head to the Amber Temple or up into the mountains, and you're not able to get the supplies you need in Kresk, please do stop here, on your way there because we'll give you what we can. We'll guide you along the rather elusive pathways up through the mountains as high as we can get you. But there's a certain point where my were ravens will have to pull back because of the giant bird creature that kind of guards the top of the mountain. He says, but you're only a couple hours here from Kresk, so eat up, enjoy your parsnip and carrot your vegetarian stew that we've provided you, and you should have no trouble getting to Kresk within a couple hours. Anything else you guys want to do with him or the winery, or what's the game plan?
Eat up,
Hit the road, Jack.
ship out. Eat up and ship out.
Okay, yeah, it's about like mid-morning now.
And we're real close to Kresk, right? Like we're an hour.
Yeah, you're a few hours away at best. You know, in Barovian standards, it's not a bad day. You know, you've hit mid morning. It's a dim, glowing sun is somewhere out there. Your bellies are full. You don't have these kids crawling on your back anymore. You don't have carts or anything. So, if you guys want, the group is just trudging along the trail up towards Kresk.
Oh, perfect.
Out of curiosity, is that monstrous bird? Is there anything that we are familiar with that might fit the bill on that? Like we might associate when they're describing this.
Actually, also on that, is that something that's been there for as long as? I mean, how long has that bird been there? I guess I would like to ask that.
He mentioned it last time we talked to him.
Oh,
And
he
would
did
Juniper have knowledge of it?
Yeah, when we talked about the pass into the mountains, he said, "Watch out for the big effing bird."
Okay, so this has been this is all right. This isn't new.
Yeah, we knew about this.
Okay.
No, we knew it was there, but we don't know how long.
We didn't want to go yet because we wanted to get the wedding dress and try to revive Blackwind.
Right.
Mhm.
We figured the bird's going to be there, hitting on everything whenever we need to see him. So
That's a good point, though. Juniper, is that like when they talk about this monstrous bird, whatever? I mean, I got a gut feeling what it might be, but I don't know if like my character would. You know what I mean? Like, and does Juniper have an idea?
So if Juniper's curious, I would let her make a nature check to try to decipher what they're telling her. To maybe is it something she's familiar with, just being a druid, being a native of these lands. Spargle, if you're just like, what could they be talking about? I let you make a nature check, but with disadvantage.
Okay, I'm curious, so I'm gonna make one.
Okay,
I will do it at disadvantage.
I didn't do so well.
Nature disadvantage.
Juniper's like, I just fucking play with rocks and fucking seeds all day. I don't know what that bird is.
18.
that's with disadvantage. Okay, so
I rolled a 13 and an 18, and I get a +5. So
yeah, nice. Okay, so Juniper, you know, you're racking your brain. You've lived in these woods. You know, you had a whole clan in along Lake Sarovich, and there's nothing that you've ever heard of since you've been born that would match the description of this giant bird. Spargle, though, at some point in your studies, a long time ago, as you were just learning things, you had heard of this legendary creature. This is like Bigfoot kind of legendary, right? You've never seen one. You never have, in Faerun have ever encountered one or know anybody firsthand that has. But you've heard of a bird that's literally this, half the size of a mountain, right? That they called a roc, R-O-C, and it's, I mean, almost big enough to swallow small dragons is the legend that you've heard. Whether or not such a thing exists or whether that's what Davian's talking about right now, you have no idea. That's the best guess you have as a giant scary bird from what you've heard back in your school days.
I will say something to the group, just be like, I don't know. I have read something about these, and if it is what what I've read about, it might be something that we want to avoid. I thought that might be what it was, Dan. But I just say I've read about something, and they're. I mean, it's terrifying to the description on what I read about the size of these things. So, but let's go to Kresk.
All right. Anything else you guys want to do before you leave the winery?
I'm good.
All right.
Are we hauling wine?
2 crates. You got 2 crates if you want
Okay.
that they've given you to take to Kresk.
Okay. Cool.
I'm going to call it a nice, easy ride there. Still on foot. Let's see where you'd come in on here. You come to the front gates of Kresk. There are guards there, as there were before. They're very suspicious as you walk up. They kind of hold you. A couple of the guards pop up on the little like parapet type of thing, and they put their hands down and they say, "No closer, please." Who approaches?
Gosh, what's the mayor's name? I can't get into my notes. I'm having a little problem here.
It's us from before. I helped plant some trees and we're back for honey.
We're friends with the Baron.
Yeah. What's his name?
What other two fucking dwarves do you know of in this place?
A lot of dwarves rolling up on you.
Trying to see if there's
Hey, out of character, didn't we let a vampire into like? Oh no, that was
in
from never.
the
Yeah,
past.
That was in the past.
That was in the
Those
past.
are alter egos.
they don't know about that.
Are my
Yeah.
toenails still dug in the ground here somewhere?
Little jar of them somewhere.
Oh,
That's the key to killing Strahd, I'm telling you.
give him blood poisoning.
Yeah, he'd be like, "Oh fuck this, I can't.
He's like, I'll just go die.
Yeah, I can't do this."
Yeah, this was the guy that you knew, Baron Kreskov and his wife. They invited you to their house at one point. So you guys roll up and you're like, yeah, we know the Baron. You know, we're here on official business, and they go summon the Baron, and he comes rolling up and he says, he goes, hurry, come in. And he brushes the guards to the side, and they roll the gates open real quickly, and they bring you in, and they take you all the way to his mansion again, where you had previously spent the night. And they're kind of like hanging out outside, and they're like, "So, what happened? We heard about Vallaki."
Yeah, a big brush fire. A lightning strike hit a tree and it caught fire in the city.
He says, "Well, I mean, I hate to say it, but their loss is our gain. I see we made contact with the Martikovs, and they're going to reestablish wine delivery to our town."
Oh,
This is-
speaking of which, these are for you.
He sees you guys had given him bottles of wine, literal, just 2 bottles of wine the last time you met him, and he was ecstatic and let you stay at his house. When he sees the cases of wine, like this is like the one saving grace that he has to keep his people sane, and he almost tears up at the sight of so much wine that you guys give him 2 crates. And he says, "Oh, this is such great news. Things seem to be good up on the hill." He points up at the Abbey. He goes, "I don't know if you ever met the guy running the place, but we've been okay since you guys talked to them. Even some of the hooting and hollering when they ring the dinner bell has been a little bit subdued. So things have been good here. A little bit nervous about what happened to Vallaki, but this is so appreciated," as he like bows his head towards the case of wine that he takes from you and just sort of sets on his front porch.
Yeah, give him a big hug.
He says, "Whatever we can do for you, you're more than welcome in this town. I assume you have more business with the guy on the hill."
Indeed we do.
"Well, I don't want to interfere or meddle, but if there's anything we can do to help, let us know. Otherwise, feel free to head on up."
Aye, thank you, lad.
Anything else you guys want from the Baron, or are you guys going up to the Abbey to talk to the Abbot?
I think we're
I'll
going
add-
up.
I'm going to ask him, has anybody else come through the town?
He says, "Actually, yes." He goes, "I feel terrible, but we're just not able to take the refugees. We can't risk the safety of our people. We had to turn away dozens of families who thought that Kresk was their sanctuary, fleeing the town of Valaki. But I don't know where they went. They continued to head west. But you understand, right? We just can't. We just can't risk the safety of our citizens and letting in strangers. I'm so sorry what happened in Valaki, but they headed west up into the mountains, up into the hills. We hear the howls of wolves, and we wish them the best. And he looks saddened, but stoic in his decision.
Have you seen our old friend, the old man?
The scholarly guy who you were traveling with. No, I don't think he's been this way. And the lady with the funny walk.
Yep.
No, they haven't been here.
That's all I got.
Well, you are all free to move around town as you wish. You have free access to the abbey itself, and anything else we can do to make you comfortable while you're here.
Do you have any meat?
We do. Are you hungry?
Oh, just a bite. I don't want to take all your food, but a nice, big, juicy piece of meat would go so far.
You're only halfway through saying that, and the Baroness starts racing inside, and you hear the clinking of glasses as she starts pouring wine out, more for herself than you. So she's busting into the wine that you guys already made, and within moments, you smell sizzling bacon.
Oh, Thornton gets +5 to all rolls.
She brings out bread and bacon and is sharing the wine with everybody. It is about dinner time now, so it's good timing. So yeah, you guys fill up pretty well, chit chat a little bit.
I'm sorry, lads. I can't live on fucking vegetables and nuts and seeds.
Yeah, you guys eat well. And then eventually, when it winds down, the Baron is just kind of happy to help in any way he can, but suggests that you go see the abbot if you'd like, or supply yourselves around town and head out whichever other direction you want to go.
Can I challenge him to an arm wrestling match as a token of my appreciation of his friendship?
You can. I don't know that he accepts your challenge, though. He's an old later middle-aged guy, and you got these big, beefy little stouty arms, and he's probably like, yeah, I'm good.
Oh, it's just a friendly competition. This is what we do in my culture to show our thanks and to show the meaning of brotherhood.
Make a quick persuasion check.
Oh, I hope this works. No, it's that kind of night. 8.
Yeah, he looks and he goes, oh man, I can't beat you. He goes, whatever's on the table, it's yours. You want the wine.
It's just a great big hug then. How about that, you old bastard?
He's slammed a good couple of bottles of Great Mash now, and he gives you a big hug. This is a real gloomy guy who, when you guys first met him, he was kind of really just down and downtrodden, and he's perked up. Maybe it's the wine, maybe he likes you guys, but he does give you. He has to bend down and give you a little. He has to get down to your level.
But I pick him up. I still.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
You got the bigger arms, but yeah. So
all right. Okay.
You guys have made good friends with the Baron and the Baroness here.
Just quick out of character, did we still want to do the thing with going back to Argynvost and getting the dragon bones and having him rise the dragon?
Oh, jeez, I totally forgot about that.
Whoops.
Let's talk.
Yeah,
Well,
he
we're
said
already
he
here.
could.
Let's
He
see
could
if we can
resurrect.
save it.
What's that?
Let's see if we can save it. He said he'd give us 3, so we'll talk to him and see if he'll let us come back with the other.
Yeah, let's
Is
see
that
if
what
he
it was?
actually resurrects something before we.
Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, we don't want to
Dragon
resurrect the
and Dragon
dragon.
Yeah, so that way
Yeah,
Blackwing comes
that's a good
back,
point.
and if it's like a very beaten down, broken Blackwing that maybe has more questionable virtues, then maybe we decide
Yeah.
maybe not with the
Yeah.
dragon.
Ooh, good
Yeah,
call.
ends up being like a pet
Oh.
cemetery type thing.
Right, yeah. It's like Blackwing, like, like the alpha version,
Flash,
like,
flash cloning.
yeah.
I didn't even think about that with all these little like hybrid types of weirdo things running around the place that it may not come back like we want it to.
Yeah, like a
Oh,
Blackwing
it's-
that's like really come out of the oven too early, like,
It's not.
Oh shit!
It's gonna be salad. It's gonna be salad fingers Blackwing.
yeah.
Like it's gonna be like Hubert Cumberdale salad fingers Blackwing.
I love that you know all those references, Sal.
Yeah. Oh, that terrified me. I hate
Yeah,
it.
me too. Early days of the internet, I was
Ugh.
shocked by that. So the Baron and the Baroness are ready to go to bed. They're like, you guys could stay here. You could flop on like their house is your house. It's like they leave the door open. You can drink their wine. You can eat their food. But they're like, if you want to go up and talk to the Baron and come back here, the Abbot, and come back here, we'll be here.
All right, cool. Let's go up there. Let's
Let's
head
do
up.
it. I want to see this Abbot. I want to meet
All right.
Blackwing properly.
All right. So let's say, is this the right spot?
Oh, this looks familiar.
Oh yeah.
This looks good, I think. So you roll up to the gates here. I'm not going to do tokens and stuff. You roll up to you walk. It's a big switchback from the bottom. The village is way below, and the abbey's way up on a hill, like overlooking the town. So it's a good like mile almost of switchback up through these like cold hills, snowy hills, and trees and shit. And then you get to the front of the abbey. And there are the same two mongrel folk who you've met before, Otto and Siegfried, who come scrambling out, like all important with their jobs, and they're like, what are you guys doing here? I don't know if you're supposed to be here. But once they see you, once they notice who you guys are, and that you're sort of important guests of the abbot. They almost don't get in your way. They're like, well, you know where the boss is. Do you want us to escort you, or you want to just go on your own?
I will take it from here, young man.
Okay. And you guys know, I don't have all your tokens here. Oh. There you go. Deckard. Nadja. Still missing somebody. All right, you guys make it through the gates, through the courtyard area, and into the abbey's interior, where you're back in the main hall. So you go into this big cathedral-like place, right? I mean, it is very church-like. Gentle sounding music trickles down from above, played on a single-stringed instrument by some unseen master. So you have this like harp music coming down from the floor above you. The ground floor is one large 50-foot square room with arched leaded glass windows. A cauldron sits on an iron rack above a fire in a hearth, while above the fireplace mantel hangs a golden disc engraved with a symbol of the sun. In one corner, a wooden staircase climbs to the upper level, while another corner, a stone staircase descends into darkness. Several chairs surround a wooden table, so there's a huge dining table in the middle that stretches nearly the length of the room. Wooden dishware and golden candelabras are neatly arranged on the table, standing behind which is a young woman with alabaster skin, dressed in a torn and soiled red gown. Her auburn hair is neatly bundled as to not touch her soft shoulders. She seems almost lost in her thoughts. A handsome young man, the abbot, who you met before, in a brown monk's robe, gently takes the woman by her hand. A painted wooden holy symbol that depicts the sun hangs from a chain around his neck, and he moves with the grace of a saint. So you see the abbot again in this room with this Vasilka, who he introduced you to, basically just dancing, like ballroom dancing around the backside of the table. And when you bust through the doors, he looks up and he looks at you and he says, "Ah, my friends," he says, "it's been a few days. I didn't know if you'd return."
Well, we're back.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi. So I sent you to find a dress for my offering to Lord Strahd. Have you found the dress?
Who has the dress?
You do.
I think you have it.
Deckard pulls it out of his pack. Yeah, man, we got you for the dress here.
So you pull the dress out and show it to him?
Yep. And I like snap it out.
You could see his breath taken away for a moment as he he's very much a stoic, very almost perfect looking human, right? Almost abnormally perfect looking, like flawless skin and just like the perfect specimen of a human. But you actually see a moment of just like awe as you pull this dress out. He's like, it's perfect.
Yep. Well, you said we got the dress here. We're wondering, what you're going to do to hold up your end of the bargain. We got.
Of course.
Want to bring one of our friends back here. You mentioned you'd bring three living things back to life for us. We've got one that we'd like to cash in potentially.
Well, yes, of course. It's the least I can do for such a monumental contribution to saving the land. This dress will perfect my bride for Strahd, and he will be appeased and lift the curse on this land. You don't know how impactful this is, what you've done. He reaches out for the dress. He's just like reaching now, like almost desperately, just like, give me the dress.
Who's got Deckard's bones?
You're
You are
dead? Deckard's bones. That's you.
I meant Blackwind's bones.
You're using Deckard's bones.
I don't know. I had them, but I don't know.
You had
I'm
the
still-
big rawhide burlap sack.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just
I don't know what we
attach
did
them.
after the river. I assumed I probably just kept lugging them along.
Just lugging them.
Just
So I
oh my
kinda-
God.
Just got used to
So,
this.
like I say, well, I'll tell you what, man. Why don't you? Well, here's the dress. I give it to him.
Takes the dress, like he caresses it in a way that he's afraid that he's gonna like harm it, and just like such delicacy, and he's slowly kind of holding it up in front of his creation, Vasilka, and it is perfect. It fits. I mean, it looks like it'll fit her perfectly, and it'll just complete the whole thing. And he lays it so gently across the banquet table to make sure it's not touched by anything dirty at all. And he looks back at you and he goes, I cannot thank you enough. Please, I would be more than happy to hold up my end of the bargain.
So I just glance at Alaric.
Well, Lark will just walk over and just not gently slam the corpse down. Or, the burlap sack or whatever I had him in.
The abbot doesn't even seem to be fazed or offended by it. It's just like he's in another zone at this point. And he like pulls the burlap off. Just it kind of shreds, and there's just this like corpse, this like skinny, emaciated, just headless body laying on his beautiful banquet table. Doesn't seem to bother him at all. And he says, he looks at you, Alaric, and he says, your friend?
Yeah.
And he says, it's your choice to keep his soul bound within this realm and return him to his living state in Barovia.
Oh,
Wait.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
You wish to return this released soul back to a living being in Barovia.
I didn't really think about that. Kind of
So then he's stuck in Barovia?
well, yeah, he's here with us then, I guess, but
But if we go back to Faerun, then he can't come back.
at least
Oh,
he's
we're
alive.
definitely going back to Faerun.
yeah. Well, if we can manage to get out of this place, will he be stuck here?
Well, only as long as the tyrant remains in control, but my lovely lady will lift the curse from that. So it should be a short-term arrangement.
Yeah, just bring him back. Whatever happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's already stuck here. He might as well be alive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck him.
Yeah, I agree.
Fuck him. Just bring him back.
Who
And if we
cares
gotta
about
kill him,
not
we'll kill him.
worm-
Blackwind's eternity in heaven?
Yeah, he's in like Warlock heaven, and he gets sucked back into Barovia.
Warlock
Is there any
heaven.
way to?
He's in trash hobo heaven.
Is there any way when you bring him back to make him a little bit more sane? Is that an option?
He says,
Can we have a parental
You
control?
know what? Let's just keep him dead. Fuck him.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about Nathaniel and
Bring him back.
the werewolves.
We went to all this trouble.
We'll bring him back.
No,
and then
I
we'll-
agree.
and
I
then we'll-
agree.
And then we'll kill him. Really.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, we
him
can
up.
always kill him again if he annoys us.
It's true.
I can always just, pop a couple crossbow bolts in the back of his neck if he makes us too mad.
Maybe we'll break his fingers so he can't do any of his little spells.
He makes us too mad.
all right. So to all of that, he says,
I was
what
just
I
kidding
can
on my part.
no, but I'm trying to think. He would say, I can bring the living breath back to your friend, if that's what you desire.
Let's do it.
That's kind of vague.
Yeah. I mean, can we get more details on how this exactly will work? I mean, you've done it before, so.
This
Yeah,
is,
like what
well,
state will he be in?
Yeah, will it still be him? Will it still be his personality and
They're
his?
going to be like the people at the gate, the mongrel folk.
says, well, the best I can do is to return this soul to this body, and they will live again here in Barovia.
Will he have his head?
He will be as intact as he was before he died.
Oh, okay.
Okay. He'll have a head. That's a plus.
Well, you got my
Yeah.
approval.
Yeah,
Yeah,
All right.
he has a head. All right.
that sounds great.
All right, Thoradin, roll a religion check as this happens.
12.
So the abbot puts his hands on Blackwind's body, and he looks up and and you see radiant white light coming out of his eyes. Thoradin, this is so in character, only Thoradin realizes this. So you can share this if you want, but let's just kind of play it this way. As this channeling of divine energy is just coming, it's like kind of coming through his eyes and emanating through this abbot's body, and now sort of like lighting up Blackwind's corpse. You, being someone who's pious and religious and part of a deity, are absolutely overwhelmed by the spiritual power of this abbot, to the degree that you have never experienced someone, even your greatest paladin, head of the paladin of the group of whatever you followed back in Faerun, is a fraction of this power that you're feeling, to the point where you're like, this is either a deity or an archangel or something of that caliber. And it's just overwhelms you as this power courses through this abbot. So you just get that glimpse. So that's just a side note for you. The abbot does this, and Blackwind's body starts to almost inflate from the inside out, as if it was like a deflated balloon that suddenly started getting inflated with air. And so the wrinkled, emaciated skin starts to fill back in till it becomes like a gray full corpse, and then the gray turns to pink, and you start to see color, and you see literal, like, just like almost like an old Play-Doh machine where you're like pumping the Play-Doh through the fucking hippo's mouth. Like this head just kind of ooze out and form into like this round head, and then it takes shape, and then suddenly it's Blackwind's face. And within 30 seconds of the abbot's hands and this white light coursing through, you guys all see Blackwind, like in perfect form, without any injury or anything, just laying there asleep, basically. And then you see the chest move up and down with some breath as you see life in this body, and then the eyes flicker open, and then you just hear Blackwind starts screaming, just incoherent, maddening screaming can't breathe. It's almost like a panicked scream until I run out of breath, take a deep breath, scream again, and he's wide-eyed, looking in all directions, not focusing on anything, just screaming. And that's where I want to end the session.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
But Blackwind's
That's so
alive
awesome.
on this dining room table. That's where we'll leave it.
Oh,
Wow.
man.
Holy shit.
Oh, he was dead for what, 2 years? Is that about 2 years?
Yeah, how long has it been?
Yeah.
It's been a few weeks. It's only been a few weeks.
Well, in game, but
You
in
mean
No.
real life?
Oh, in real life. Yeah.
Dang, it's been that long. That's
It's been a long
crazy.
time.
wow.
Can somebody tell him?
Yeah, I'll hook up with him and let him
Dude,
let
you're
him know.
alive.
And we'll see what we end up doing with that as a campaign. But the abbot definitely
Is
resurrected your friend Blackwind. And Thornton, you have some extra kind of perspective on that right now.
yeah, I'm gonna think about how I want to approach that.
I get the sense this guy might actually be able to give us our dragon.
Dude, that's insane. I mean,
He's gone.
head puffed out and
Yeah,
all
maybe-
that. I mean,
Maybe
that's a
we,
pretty cool description.
we should save one charge of his resurrection in case one of us goes.
I was thinking about that.
That's
Too.
true. Maybe we
might
shouldn't have
wanna-
wasted one on Blackwind.
Especially with that bird.
Hey, that's the
We
last
gotta-
one
we
he
gotta-
gets. That's it. That's the last one he gets.
Maybe you should have looked for Nathaniel.
We did look. You know, we really did. We tried.
Yeah, but if you bring Nathaniel back, he's going to tell them what happened.
No, I don't think Dan.
I'd still
I don't
do
think.
it.
I don't think Dan will let it happen. I think Dan probably threw out those notes by now, and they're long gone.
Well, even if they did tell him what happened, we've helped him so much. We'd be like, no, our friend was just insane.
Yeah, right.
You mean the one you brought back, the one that we're looking at now, right? Yeah.
The one who's screaming.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder what is that going to mean too? Is he going to be like
That's probably what he was doing when he
Dang.
died. He probably was screaming like when they stomped his head.
It's true.
He's just going back right to the moment that he died.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Either that or
Getting
he's
his
going to
head
do
cracked
this
open.
for eternity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just scream until
Are we
the
still
end.
streaming?
Yeah. Actually, yeah, I will cut it off there. We're good. We're good there. Done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you to all of
Yeah.
our viewers. We couldn't do it without you. I want to thank all of our sponsors. We appreciate it.
All right.